Lincoln's Legends is on a mission. Its goal is to spread awareness about the people that make the capital city great, digging deeper into the people and the art that collectively are the culture of the capital city.
We are at Southtown because that's where I record lots of the videos because they treat me very, very well. But I'm really excited because there's an awesome studio opening very, very soon that I want to tell you a lot about. But it's really cold, so we gotta walk really, really fast. You ready? Ready. Let's go. Look at our close pair of the elephant. Thank you for hanging out with me, dude.
Yeah, awesome. Are we rolling?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, okay.
I'd prefer not to tell anybody if we're rolling anyway, but you kind of have to. Just because it's, I love to give people a window into the lives of others, but you don't necessarily get that intimacy when you're like, hey, hi, what's going on? And then, yeah, and kind of record what you're doing, and you're like, I don't want you to record it. Or if you're just having a conversation with your friend, it would sound a little different, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So it's kind of like, that's kind of what's going on.
Gotcha.
But yeah, we got different stuff for audio and different stuff for video, which I'm sure, being an engineer, you're comfortable with. But, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because you don't want to record a van and then get, crap, anything. Actually, I don't know anything about it. You probably know more than I do.
Yeah, well, I'm not even, I'm going to be kind of more the apprentice in terms of, recording. Kyle Noonan, who couldn't be here today, is going to be the senior audio engineer.
Okay.
I'm going to be the journeyman engineer.
But you've recorded a shitload of bands, though.
Yeah, and I have.
On your own, downstairs.
Yeah, even right down to Dumb Records.
Yeah.
But my style has been more using the black sheep mics, computer interface.
Yeah.
Wherever.
What you got.
Right. As I said in the Kickstarter video.
Yeah, to check out for any precursor, check out the Kickstarter video. It's my buddy Mario. He's part of the Southtown family. I don't like to give explanations, not because I think that I'm better than anybody, but I like to think that if somebody's watching this video, then they've already caught another one, and I did tons of explanations, and since I've been doing this for 2 years, I don't want to say, hey, here's every single thing that you need to know to condense sentence, because if you want to check it out, check it out. If you don't check it out.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's just like regurgitation. Every time you're like, hey, by the way, just press play or skip through. I don't care. It's up to you. I don't care. You're going to watch it anyway, right?
Right, yeah. I mean, don't even know what the video's about.
No, that's why there's animations for it. There'll be animations and all that. My brain's broken. I learned how to do it in post. Am I wearing a hood too?
Oh, wow. Oh, yeah.
I didn't know I was wearing everything like a trans.
Yeah, well, I got the space heater down
here.
Oh,
no, that's awesome. Yes.
Yeah, this space heater is what we've been using to basically power the heat every time we come up here and work, because this place doesn't have heat yet.
Not even drywall yet. No insulation. Not even drywall.
This is old insulation too.
Ooh. Is it really? Yeah. Be careful. There might be stuff in there.
Yeah, we checked for the most part. We tore down. You can't see it probably, but over in this wall here,
we'll do a B-roll. So to this wall, and I'll have the roll, and we'll pan it.
Oh, there you go. Well, over in this wall, we did take down the insulation, and there was no problems at all. So thank God. It was pretty dried out. I mean, this stuff used to be pink, I think. That's what happens.
So this space has been used, long before we were here for something, obviously, because there's a lot of history in Southtown. But I've seen it as an apartment. I've seen it as a rehearsal space. How many different things have you seen this as?
I've seen it on top of an apartment and rehearsal space. When Brandon was in here, I recorded maybe 7 or 8 projects, in this very room.
Yeah.
There used to be red wall.
Yeah.
Here, but we tore most of it down.
And that was more your DIY approach.
Right. Yeah. Brandon. It was when Brandon was here. It was kind of he ran the studio out of the apartment. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Then after they had shows up here too. There's a pretty cool video of this band CCTV playing a set. in here that Brandon recorded live. Actually,
I'll drop a link in it. That's awesome.
We got like a few thousand views.
Hopefully we can get like 8 more because there's like 12 people that watch this thing. Maybe
Awesome.
13. I'm working on that 14th though. It's my grandma. I'm just kidding, bud. I'm just kidding. Let's do a get to know you. Like, what brought you to Southtown? Because this is obviously the Southtown sound is obviously a huge part of your life, and that's why we're not why we're hanging out, but that's what brought us to this conversation. So, like, what brought you here?
Well, like what brought me to Southtown as a neighborhood in general was when I was in high school. I was wanting to play in bands, and my dad was saying
because I'm a weirdo, and I'm warm. I'm gonna turn this down because I'm a weirdo.
Oh yeah, go for it.
Oh, there we go. Yeah.
Yeah, what was I
Well, you wanted to play in bands when you were in high school.
Yeah, I wanted to play in bands when I was in high school, and my dad wanted to help out with that, so he would like get us gigs at bars, and I was like, well, I'm not really playing to anybody my age.
How did you get a gig at a bar in high school though? Because you can't get into the bar unless you're where you're from.
You know, that's a great question. I don't know. I guess something like when your parents like set up the shows for you or something. But anyway, I was like, man, like I had heard of the Black Sheep, and I'd always wanted to like play there or go there, but I never did because I didn't have any friends who wanted to go with me at the time. But I finally went for my first time in like 2011. And I loved it. I kept on going back because I saw so many awesome bands, and then when my first band, which was like a metal band, broke up.
So we're Cohen?
No,
because I knew you were in different bands, so I don't know where that timeline is. Sorry to interrupt.
So this is like 2012.
Okay.
I was in a metal band called Intricate Collapse, and that broke up.
They collapsed intricately.
Yeah, it did.
I had to. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's all good. But then Kevin, the owner of Black Sheep at the time, like right after this band broke up, like he knew me because I'd like gone to a few shows, and like like played guitar, in a metal band, and he was like, hey, me and Brian are trying to start up this punk band. You want to try playing guitar for it? We need a guitarist. And like I went to the first practice, and Brian gave me like a mix CD of all these awesome punk bands, and I was like, whoa, I never really like listened to punk before.
Is it Brian McCormick from Red Bird Electric Tattooing? Is that the Brian?
No, Galecki.
Who's he?
Oh, he's the... You know who Brian Galecki is. Oh my God.
I'm sorry, I was trolling. Go ahead.
Oh, it's all good. But like, him and Kevin and Corey Van Meter, who was also in the band, Soap Scum, they all kind of like roped me in. Well, they didn't rope me in, but like getting that like, hey, we want you to be in our band, like touch from the people like running it around here, like made me feel like super welcome. That's awesome. It just like encouraged me to keep coming back and like wanting to help out. And then Brandon was a huge influence on me as well. Like when
Brandon Carnes.
I
had to drop it.
Right, and like I recorded so many times with him up here, and he would like show me little tricks and tips like here and there about like what he was doing.
Does his talent bother you?
A little bit.
It bothers me. I'll be the first to say it. Like
a little bit.
And this is me being the most honest. He owns everything that he is, and it's amazing.
Absolutely.
But you just look at it, you're like, how can all that talent be in one person? And he doesn't flaunt it, which makes it like all right. It's like you don't want somebody to run around and say I'm the best at this when they are the best. It stinks. But he doesn't. So
honestly, like
he inspires me to be a better dude. He really does.
Yeah, and Brandon is really the main inspiration behind the studio at all, because like him running the studio and like recording so many demos for punk bands here, like he did so much for the scene, not just with that, but with other things.
Yeah.
But like that especially like kind of like connected the place in a way that like you don't see anywhere else really, because we had a practice space, we had the recording studio, we had the venue, and the record store. So you didn't even have to go anywhere else to do anything music. You could do it all right here. And that being gone for the last few months really is kind of left a hole, and we're looking to bring it back.
So we, as in Kyle, that unfortunately couldn't be here tonight.
Right.
You, I know that BJ is a big part of it too, right?
Yeah, BJ is also one of the owners, and he's on tour right now with Pretend I'm Not There.
Good for him.
Yeah, so
That's what blows my mind about all you guys. They didn't even cut you off, but go ahead.
Oh, it's all good. Yeah, so it's the three of us that we're all running the space. Kyle and I are going to be like the main engineers. Kyle, the main engineer.
Maybe if there's a senior engineer, I guess,
Yeah.
an apprentice, maybe that'd be the thing. Or
yeah, like Kyle's going to be more this like the senior recording engineer because he's got a lot of experience recording like pretty much like at Brandon's level and like he's recording.
No one's at your level, Brandon.
No.
I'm just kidding. You're even gonna watch it. It doesn't matter.
But like,
or listen.
But Kyle is very good at what he does.
Yeah.
He's recorded like bands in the area like Lavender, Reaver, this band called Haraith. That
If they ain't record a living thing, they ain't shit.
Yeah.
So,
And then
I'll just say it.
Have you heard the new Living Thing stuff?
I have.
On the DL, has Brian showed you it?
He has not. I've only heard the last. No, he hasn't shown me. I've only heard the stuff from the summer. I haven't heard anything else.
Oh well, the stuff from the summer probably is the same stuff because
Okay.
we've been working on it for that long.
Okay.
But so Kyle's recorded all that stuff, and it's like,
oh man,
really well done.
Talk garbage about him. I was just kidding.
Oh
no, go ahead.
But yeah, so like he knows what's up, especially with like running like a professional recording studio, which is what the goal of this place is to be. Yeah.
So it's not just that you want to bring in some equipment. It's not just that you want to. I don't know. I guess I don't want to be cheesy, but I'm emo. I can't help it. The holidays are coming up, and I put something together where I really believe that many people think that they can buy. I mean, it's the whole Grinch thing. You think you can buy a holiday from a store, which you can't. And I really would like to inspire people with this video and this conversation to not just invest in something that is not going to matter, or not invest in like a trinket or I mean, everyone wants something that's tangible, but why not invest in something that is someone's future? And I don't mean like as big as an education, because a lot of people can't invest in that, but there's no difference in my mind between investing in this or investing in the record store or investing in Black Sheep as a whole, because essentially you're going to be that you're going to be a light in the community. And it's so crazy to think, and I have this conversation on almost a daily basis, where you can write, record, produce, promote, play your own music in a block radius, and outside of Chicago or St. Louis, I don't know where that's a possibility.
Yeah, like people come here all the time, and even without like the studio, like they're so amazed that all this is in this one block, and even there's a skate park and a skate shop too.
Yeah.
This is like, for a lot of people, this is like DIY paradise.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and this is just gonna add to I guess I don't want to say it's gonna add to the value. It's gonna add tremendously to the value. I hate to boil everything down to if it's worth it or not worth it, but tell me about the plan for the Kickstarter. I know that it looked like there was tons of levels, so there's all kinds of ways to get involved, even if you only had a little bit.
Yeah, we have like levels of like if you're just a donor, we have like some like perks if you just like want to donate outright. Like we're gonna make some like t-shirts and mugs and stuff like that. If you donate at the founder level, you're gonna get a copy of every recording that comes out of here in 2017.
Oh wow!
So
that's awesome.
Yeah, so that's gonna be pretty cool. And if you're, or also, and if you're an artist, you can book recording time through us. It's less of donating and more of like getting this like a stupid good deal on like professional grade recording, just paying in advance basically. Like we're doing anything from like $150 punk demos. That's like band comes in here, sets up, we record them all on the same day, and they walk out of the place with their music, and it's done. It's like good and polished.
In a day?
Yeah, like a 10-hour session.
Oh my gosh, that's a long time.
I mean, that would be like, or you could use that 10-hour time to like do anything you want.
Oh wow.
In the studio as well. So that's the lowest like artist option, and we go all the way up to if you want to record a full-length LP, you can do that as well, and it's all based off of a $15 an hour time frame essentially, which is at a discount from what we want to charge in the future.
That's really cheap for
especially for like the level of like production you're gonna get. And also like if you are like a band that's like booking in advance, like one thing to consider is like you booking is gonna help us get like better equipment, you know.
Yeah.
Like so yeah.
I don't know, I guess if I looked at it and I was a musician and you have to have your production done somewhere, unless you're going to do it by yourself, and then if you were going to do that, I imagine you'd have your own tangible, equipment. But for me, it'd be pretty badass to walk in and say, I got to not only, record my, EP or my LP or, whatever it is that I needed, but I also got to help buy, a set of microphones, or I get to help buy, a mixer or something like that. I mean,
exactly.
It'd be amazing because it's something that's going to go and it's going to be there forever. It's investing in somebody's future. As far as the band's booking in advance, I noticed that the monetary value, or I guess it was more expensive for the bands to donate, but essentially you're booking at the discounted rate.
Yeah, and everything's like flexible too. Like I said, it's based off of the $15 an hour, and so everything that we have up there are just estimates of like how much time it would take to like really put in the work to make something sound like good and polished and like ready to go.
Now I did see everything was itemized as well. Everything is explained. We're trying to buy this equipment and this equipment if we hit this number and that number, and it's definitely done professionally. Whoever it was, the word "you" goes around to everyone. Whoever put it together definitely spent a lot of time, making sure that everything was accounted for. Because I know that's it's a big question. I mean, essentially, it's a big question. It's a big responsibility. It's a big task, and it's really hard to pick it apart if someone on the outside saying, "Oh, well, they just want $5,000 just to do whatever with." I mean, there have been other people. I mean, I hate to throw some air under the bus, but there was a GoFundMe that went when somebody lost their job and they got like $15,000 from the city of Springfield, and it was a GoFundMe with no promise of like, "Hey, I want to do this thing. I lost my job," and people gave this person $15,000.
Right, and
you're not asking for that. Plus, you have a game plan.
Right, like we're at like our goal of 8,000 is like we got to divide it up because like the first thing we have to tackle with this space is fixing it up.
Yeah, because essentially you just have a shell. I mean, they gave you a shell, not gave you over. Well, how did that happen? Actually,
well, it just, like the place is just kind of like it isn't, I guess, like quite ideal yet for a recording studio, but in order to like make it one, I mean, we've got to put funds into that.
Yeah.
Like we need to get some like acoustic treatment, and there's some other things in the space that we want to do that are just going to make it like flow better. Like there's a couple doors over here, and we're moving one of the doors, and we're also going to put a control window right here so that so there's like a better like connection between like the engineer and the band recording. And there's also like a lot of cosmetic things, like the place needs new doors and like better security. And the first thing about the place too that we like, knew that we had to fix was the floors because the old carpet had been ripped up when we came up here, and there was actually still like staples in the foam underneath.
Oh wow!
Like around in here. So that was that's like that's one of the things we need to do, and I guess that's pretty much like that's a pretty good summary of like everything we need to do with the space.
So big picture wise, what's the biggest band from your thoughts that are either here or anywhere, who would you love to have come and record here?
Oh man.
Say, I've been following this band for a while, or I think we could do it better, or, I mean, because you got to have, in my opinion, sorry, bud, you got to have targets. I mean, you can't just expect people to come in, and my thought is, if you do one awesome album, or one awesome, EP, like, that people will just come here and they'll want their sound to be as polished, or to have our touch. What's one of those bands?
That's kind of tough to say, because there's a lot of bands, like, in the area, and I don't want to, like, necessarily, like,
it's a safe place. There's a blanket. There's
a
safe place.
Like, call out any bands in particular that I'm like, you need to come record here.
No. I'm just saying someone that you would have an eye out for, or maybe I've been following this band. I'd love to I don't know. I just looked at it like a project. Like I don't know. I've been doing a lot of film lately, and a lot of like short. I don't know, me and Brian feel like he'd been working. I said this last time. We did tons of videos, and I guess for me, when I'm working, I try and put my personal touch on it. And right now, I'm in the middle of editing the parade footage.
Okay.
And I had the flu, and it put me in a real bad place. It did, because I was so excited, and I got all this stuff together. And on Thanksgiving, I went to see my family. I got home. I actually forgot that I told Brian I'd be on the Black Sheep Radio show. I forgot that I told him on Wednesday. Thanksgiving was on Thursday. Black Friday, I'm having lunch with my wife in Alton. And Brian puts on Facebook having the head of the JCs on Black Sheep Radio show, and Jeremy Bailey's joining me as a guest host. And I'm like, hey, sweetie, I gotta drive home. I gotta go. And we gave her hugs to the family, and then ran out of there, and I got everything I needed. Promoted the parade the day before, and then I woke up at 8 a.m. and I felt like I got hit by a truck. I just had the worst flu, and I couldn't go, and I couldn't videotape it. And then since I couldn't do that, I'm editing someone else's footage, and they did a great job with what they had. But for me, I'm like, I would have done this and I would have done that. And I don't know if you feel the same way, being a producer or an engineer, where you're like, I would love to get my hands on this project and tweak it and make it my own.
Oh, man. I guess I really hadn't, like, thought of any bands in that sense. But I guess, like, I don't... One band that's coming to mind that I'd just, like, love to, at some point, have them up here to work on something that's local, I would say, is Vaughn, because they're really talented, and just really awesome guys. They're all, like, I think they're all still in high school.
Really?
Yeah.
That's really early that someone could show them a different way.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's hard, because you don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, and I'm just like, I'm not saying that I know the right way.
I don't even know, like, if they've recorded before or anything. I was just saying.
Oh, wow.
I was just saying,
that'd
like,
be even more fun.
It'd be awesome just to, like, get them up here to give them the experience of, like, I don't know if they've ever recorded professionally.
Yeah.
Like, to give that to them, like, right here.
Well, you could even go into I don't know if like CACC has a deal like where they train their own engineers, but I mean, I don't see why you or HISO couldn't go in and say, we want to find the engineers, and essentially you can say, hey, is there anything that you want to do to work out, like an apprenticeship or work study or something. I mean,
yeah.
I don't know how you felt in high school about engineering, but if someone were to contact you and give you that leg up, I mean, how far do you think you'd be if that happened?
Yeah, I mean, I probably shoot.
It's just a thought.
Yeah. Like, for me, like, for what I know about, like, engineering right now, it's like no, like, I've only been, like, had the ropes shown to me by, like, my friends.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I haven't had any, like, formal training
mm-hmm.
in it. But if I had like if I had like a recording class that I could attend,
mm-hmm.
like when I was younger, I would have done it. And there probably was.
Both of our noses are running, and I'm gonna do this. Don't look at me. I love to show. It goes back to the thing when we sat down. I love to show people a window into someone else's life, and there's trust, because I mean, I think the first time I met you was Soho, like two years ago.
Yeah.
About there, and it can be really overwhelming to, you know, like we said, there's some guy with a camera that's just looking at. I mean, at that point it was just an iPhone, but I was just wanted to document the world around me, and it's awesome because I guess the whole thing started because I really love everything that's happening around me, and I've always had different jobs. Every job that I work, it was always to get to the next place. It wasn't this is my end all be all passion, I love this place. No, it was, oh shit, I gotta be here for 4 hours, 6 hours, 8 hours, sometimes 12 or 14. And I found myself gravitating towards anything that I could for a distraction. And the distraction started out, okay, what can I get away with? What can I distract myself with, but also still be here mentally? And I was gravitated really hard towards, any type of audio format. I mean, if you dive into your favorite band, your favorite CD, soundtracks, podcasts, and it's like podcasts and vlogging were so close together where essentially you're escaping into this person's life. Whatever time you want to, you get to do it, which is bonkers because I thought about it and I was like, I'm really invested in this. Why am I not invested in this? And it was just because I wasn't happy with my life. But when I got to a point where I was happy with everything that's around me, I was like, I wonder if there's people in the situations that I was 2 years ago or the year before, and you think about it, and there's people from all walks of life that just want to have a good time. And I'm not saying that the whole project is because I'm not saying the whole project is to exploit what anyone's doing, but I just remember just being, whether it was at a cubicle 8 hours a day, a job that I hated, and I was like, man, I need something to get me through this, and or whether it was stocking shelves overnight or something like that. And now I feel so lucky that I don't live in that universe, that I want to be able to share a bit of my life, kind of paying back with other people. So I hope it's not self-serving. That's really not the idea. The idea is more
I mean, like, you're giving like us a voice right now.
I'm trying.
Yeah.
I mean, it's, some people get it, some people don't, and it's crazy to know that at one point I was like, oh, this person's so awesome and they're doing this thing and they're in California or New York or even Chicago, and I'm like, I wish I could do that. But now it's like there's people that I see from different walks of life, like I was saying, they're like, hey, how do you know the guy from The Thing? How do you know the guy? I'm like, he's an amazing guy, isn't he? Or she, or them. It's an amazing place. Like, no, I know this person, and they have this awesome passion, and they want to talk about it, and they might not always, jump on a platform and say, I want to tell everyone about this thing. But I'm like, hey, how can we talk about it? How can we put on, we'll see who listens.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's
it's good. And thank you for doing this. This
it needs to be heard. It's huge. Christmas is coming around. I'm doing it because I feel guilty. I gotta be honest. I feel guilty. I have so much. I do. It's, my wife and I were buying a house, and I remember not being able to have an apartment. I remember being very, 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 not to be over dramatic, but not having anything. And I can't give anything monetarily this year, because if I could, when I sent Kyle a message, I was like, I wish I could be a founder, but right now I'm going to school and things are super tight. What can I do to not just be a part of it for ownership, but to help? What can I do? And I was also talking to Brian, and his name's going to be 13 times in this video, but we work really closely together. Yeah. And I was like, hey,
over there too.
The whole thing. Like, he gave me a key to the record store, which is where they let me do the show out of, and it's a big circle. I don't want to make you mad. Don't be mad at me, Brian. But no, I was like, how do I help? What can I do? And I have other episodes, and I have more content to put out, but I want to put the brakes on it because this is only going to be out for 30 days.
Right.
And
24 days left.
Yeah, so when I put it up, I want to put it up as soon as possible so people will have as much time as they can, because people are going to be more inclined to give this time of year, and it's just, what are you giving to? What are you giving? Is it going to add value to your life or to the life of the people around you? And I'm excited about it, because every time I come here, there's something new and something awesome, and people don't understand how much stuff is actually happening, in these walls of just this little place, and it's bonkers. I really, I don't know. It's weird to have tunnel vision, and I'm not saying that it's a good thing, but I still miss stuff. I still miss a lot that happens here, because with going to school, I'm working full time. Took 2 classes. I've been taking 2 classes since, what is this? This is December. I've been taking 2 classes since June. So I'm trying to be present as much as I can, and thankfully Brian is just feeding me this stuff, and he's like, you have to listen to this band, and you have to listen to that. And I saw this, the video come for the Kickstarter, and I was like, oh my god, this is an awesome idea, this is amazing, how did I not know about it? And Brian's like, we're never there. I'm trying, I'm doing everything I can to be everything for everybody.
This was kind of like, we were talking about it, but we weren't like necessarily flaunting that we were doing the studio until we released the Kickstarter stuff anyway. I mean, like,
the videography was really good too.
Yeah,
I wanted to comment on that.
We had a good friend of ours, Jake Eckhart, filmed that. I want to say, like, maybe he went to, I don't know, I think maybe he went to school for film production or something.
He did something. He did. It was awesome.
It was beautifully done. I had never seen myself in HD. Like looking like right at a camera.
Yeah.
Which was that was something.
Well, and that's what I was going to ask you when we started. It's a little different than just being like right here, because that's why I love to have it off a little bit, because I think it's weird. It's not. Thankfully, the lens is wide enough where it doesn't have to be right here.
Yeah.
We did a little test earlier where it was here to here, but that's what happens when. I was lucky enough. Excuse me. To stop saying that. I worked hard enough to have people invest in me this year, and actually, the Miles Parkhill actually donated the lens.
Oh,
so,
nice.
Yeah, there's partnerships every 2 months or month to month. Whoever wants to help out with the show, it's all kinds of local business people that it's just people that believe in what I'm doing. Those people happen to have a business, and they're like, what does it take to keep the lights on? And I just say, well, I'd love to, not have this, but in order to get to a different level, I need this. And I've negotiated a couple different times, and it's getting challenging as school is started, because education to me will always mean way more than likes, shares, and downloads. I don't care who says it. Like, I'm not doing this to make money. I'm doing this because I love the world around me, and I want to share it with other people. But there's like that whole scope of, in order to say something has more value than the previous installment, it has to be better. It has to be a higher production value. And then you could market it and say, oh, well, I'm going to do this grand thing, and this is what it's going to cost. And then you can say, can you help me with this thing? But if you're just doing something that is a smaller level, then it's hard to go back and forth, I guess. Yeah. I'm trying not to give how everything's made, the sausage. Where you look cold, buddy. You all right?
Oh yeah, I'm fine.
Okay.
I'm a little chilly, but it's all good. I've gotten used to it being up here.
Fair enough. I tell you, well, we're going to take some more shots around here, and that will play in the front, and just like when you were panning around, and give the plugs of where they can find everything. And I think we had a solid chat.
Awesome.
Yeah. So just give the plugs where they can find everything. Yeah.
All right. You can find us on Facebook, facebook.com/SouthtownSoundIL. You can find us on Instagram. It's at Southtown Sound Recording.
Just Google Southtown Sound, you'll find it.
Or Google us. Southtown's one word also. And on both of the Facebook and Instagram, you can find links to our Kickstarter page. And if you can give that a share or if you can help out in any way, that'd be absolutely awesome.
Yeah, I'm gonna put it up in the show notes. Thanks for hanging out, man. Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Yeah. I don't want to blow up anybody's spot, but I know something about the Don Hickman podcast that you don't.